Greetings, I'm Sandra, and I'm currently 28 years old. And Brian, my husband, aged 32, has been engaged in overseas work for the past year. During this period, I remained in our home country, enduring a job I disliked and facing financial challenges. The original plan was for Brian to send money back home monthly, supporting not only me but also our families, particularly his mother, Melissa. Initially, the decision to provide financial assistance to Melissa was a mutual one. I eagerly took on the responsibility of caring for her during Brian's absence, as I held deep affection for her. However, circumstances took an unexpected turn. Instead of adhering to our initial agreement of occasional financial support for Melissa, Brian began insisting that I send money to her every single month. Although I initially had some reservations, I chose not to voice my concerns. After all, Melissa was family, and I was genuinely happy to lend a helping hand. Over time, however, supporting Melissa every month became increasingly challenging. When I communicated our financial constraints to Brian, he would typically criticize me, dismiss my concerns, and accuse me of selfishness and laziness. From a young age, I was taught to be a supportive wife, prioritizing my husband and family under any circumstances. Nevertheless, my determination to uphold this ideal was slowly fading. While I tolerated Brian's blatant rudeness and disrespect, I lacked the confidence to assert myself and demand the respect and kindness I deserved. I wasn't comfortable with the continuous verbal abuse, but my upbringing hadn't equipped me to stand up for myself. Due to financial constraints, there were months when I couldn't send money, and when Brian discovered this, he would call and berate me, labeling me a terrible wife and daughter-in-law. Ironically, Melissa was content with not receiving money every month. Despite understanding the challenges of balancing life and expenses, Brian seemed oblivious to my efforts. One day, he harshly criticized me over the phone, declaring me useless and accusing me of neglecting his family, despite Melissa's understanding stance. Greetings, Brian. How are you doing? I'm not in great spirits, Brian. Something is bothering me. Is it about the money I keep asking you to send to my mother? Yes, it is. You consistently get upset when I can't send it every month, and your harsh words during our recent phone call still linger with me. Well, if you could just send the money on time, I wouldn't have to get upset, would I? But I can't always send it promptly, Brian. I have bills to pay and other responsibilities. Responsibility? What responsibilities could be more important than taking care of my mother? Brian, I have a life too. I can't continue living like this, constantly worrying about your mother's finances. I can't believe you would say that. You are my wife, Sandra. Taking care of my family should be your top priority. And what about me, Brian? Don't I matter? Don't my feelings matter? Of course you matter, Sandra. But right now, my mother needs our help. I need your help too, Brian. I need you to understand how I'm feeling and to support me. That was the moment it struck me. My husband, the man I loved and trusted, had betrayed me. He prioritized his mother's needs over mine, making me feel inadequate. I wouldn't let him off the hook. I would seek revenge and make him face the consequences of his actions. As I grappled with my emotions, a sense of betrayal overwhelmed me. I had always stood by Brian through thick and thin, yet now it seemed like he had turned against me. I wondered if he had always put his mother's needs above mine. However, amidst my stewing anger and frustration, a new emotion surfaced: determination. I realized I couldn't allow Brian to mistreat me. I needed to take action, seek revenge, and ensure he paid for what he had done. Initially unsure of how to proceed, as I wasn't one to scheme or manipulate, I eventually recognized that I had no choice. I had to stand up for myself, showing Brian that he couldn't treat me this way and escape consequences. So I began to plan, researching ways to make him experience the same pain and humiliation he had inflicted upon me. I reached out to long-lost companions and steadfast allies, individuals with the potential to assist me in my pursuit. Slowly but surely, I felt a newfound sense of purpose and direction that had eluded me until then. Reflecting on that chapter of my life, I can't help but express gratitude for the transformative experience. The journey was arduous and fraught with pain, yet it became a valuable lesson, unveiling aspects of myself and highlighting the significance of self-advocacy. As I geared up to exact revenge on Brian, I recognized an enhanced strength, wisdom, and determination within me. In the meticulous planning of my retaliation, I acknowledged that solitary efforts would not suffice. I sought allies, individuals capable of aiding me in my mission to dismantle Brian's influence. Turning to Melissa, my mother-in-law, was an unexpected but crucial move. Melissa and I had always shared a tight bond characterized by kindness and affection. She remained unaware of the abuse inflicted by Brian, as I hesitated to tarnish the relationship between mother and son. However, the time had come to confide in her. Hello, Melissa. I have something significant to share, and it's not easy. What is it, honey? It's about Brian. He has been treating me horribly, pressuring me about the monthly allowance I send you. It's taking a toll on me, and I can't endure it any longer. Melissa's eyes widened in shock and concern. Oh, my dear, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me? I was afraid it would strain our relationship. But now I need your support. Allies who can help me confront Brian and hold him accountable for his actions. Melissa nodded with a firm and resolute expression. You have my full support, Sandra. We will do whatever it takes to set things right. But first, I need more context. As I provided additional details about our conflicts, Melissa's eyes grew wider, and she couldn't conceal her anger upon learning of the mistreatment by her son, Brian. She harbored a slight disappointment towards me because I hadn't shared this information with her earlier. I apologized, and together we shed tears, consoling each other about our circumstances. As I delved deeper into the realm of verbal and emotional abuse, I recognized the folly of keeping it all a secret. Melissa, eager to offer her support in any way possible, was appalled by Brian's mistreatment. Of course I'll help you, my dear. I'm sorry to hear that Brian has treated you this way. You don't deserve it, and I'll do anything to assist you. We need to teach that man a lesson. Over the ensuing weeks, Melissa became my closest ally in seeking revenge. She assisted in gathering information about Brian's whereabouts and habits, even providing resources for my plan. More importantly, Melissa offered the emotional support I needed to persevere. It had been so long since I received any form of emotional backing that embracing this new lifestyle was both refreshing and relaxing. She listened when I needed to vent and encouraged me not to give up. For that, I will always be grateful. As I await the final phase of my plan, a sense of purpose and determination fills me. With Melissa by my side and Brian in my sights, I know I am capable of anything. Reflecting on the look that will appear on his face when he sees what I have in store, a smile involuntarily graces my lips. Melissa and I continue to plan our revenge against Brian, fully aware of the need to be strategic and avoid causing lasting damage to our relationships. One day a thought occurred to me. What if we planned a getaway, just Melissa and me? We could capture beautiful moments through selfies and pictures, sending them to Brian. This would demonstrate the joy we shared, possibly prompting him to reevaluate the need for more affection in his marriage and to prioritize both his relationship with Melissa and his mother. I love that idea, Sandra. Let's proceed with it, and we'll ensure to take numerous photos to drive the message home. Over the next few days, we meticulously organized our trip, researching the finest resort, most picturesque spots, and delectable restaurants. Our bags were packed with perfect outfits, sunscreen, and snacks. Despite our initial financial complaints, we recognized the necessity for a break. Life isn't solely about working tirelessly. This vacation served a dual purpose, bringing Melissa and me closer and conveying to Brian that true living isn't just about relentless work for money that brings no enjoyment. Finally, the day of our journey arrived. We boarded the plane with eager anticipation, aware that we were about to embark on a transformative adventure. More than anything, I felt that Melissa and I had solidified an unbreakable bond through our shared experience, and regardless of what unfolded next, she would always be by my side. Choosing Bali as our destination, Melissa and I enjoyed hours lounging on the beach, sipping cocktails, and relishing delicious meals, a well-deserved respite from the daily grind. I'm thrilled we could spend this time together, Sandra. Thank you for bringing me along. Certainly, Melissa. You deserve to be pampered from time to time. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm having a wonderful time. You're such a thoughtful daughter-in-law, Sandra. You're like a second mother to me, Melissa. I'm glad we could embark on this trip together. However, let's not forget to take plenty of pictures to send to Brian. I want him to witness our happiness and recognize the need for more support. Let's capture as many moments as we can. We'll make sure to send him images of us having fun and enjoying ourselves. He'll see what he's been missing. You're so astute, Sandra. I'm sure he'll come around once he witnesses our joy. I hope so, Melissa. I truly do. As we lounged on the beach, basking in the sun and snapping countless selfies, a profound sense of satisfaction washed over me. This marked the moment, the long-anticipated reckoning. As we shared our snapshots with Brian, the realization of his misdeeds settled in. Regrettably, the joy of our brief vacation was curtailed due to financial constraints. Despite our desire to prolong the sojourn, fiscal limitations prevailed. The return from our getaway brought a blend of eagerness and trepidation, eager to set my plan in motion. Brian remained oblivious to the impending revelation, and the prospect of witnessing his reaction thrilled me. Upon reaching home, I swiftly initiated my scheme. Capturing more moments with Melissa, I meticulously curated a selection of images showcasing the beauty of the towns we explored during our trip. Among them, a photo of Melissa and me on the beach, hands entwined, radiating smiles, an image bound to stir Brian's emotions. With determination, I asked Melissa, "Are you prepared to set this plan into action, my friend?" "Born ready. He needs a reality check," she affirmed. Encouraged, I dispatched the chosen photos to Brian, eagerly awaiting his response. Despite his swift acknowledgement of the images, silence lingered. Undeterred, I inundated him with additional visuals from our journey, prompting a call from him. "What on earth is this? Why did you send me a picture with you and my mother?" he demanded, perplexed. Maintaining composure, I responded, "Brian, I simply wanted to remind you that I am your wife, deserving of respect. While you criticize me for not aiding your mother financially, what about our marriage? Do I not merit attention too?" Puzzled, he inquired, "But why take pictures with my mother?" "There's ample room for both of us to thrive and relish life," I explained calmly. His mother interjected, revealing her presence long before our Bali trip. As Brian expressed his disdain for the cost of the vacation, I seized the opportunity to emphasize his mistreatment of me. "It's exorbitant, isn't it? I wish we could have extended our stay," I remarked. His mother chimed in, "Listen, I disapprove of how you've been treating Sandra. She deserves better." The confrontation unfolded, shedding light on neglected aspects of our relationship and compelling Brian to reassess his behavior. "Certainly," she informed me, "and I'm profoundly upset and disillusioned with your actions. I never raised you to behave this way. Why are you treating your wife disrespectfully when she's the one managing things at home? Consider if she chose to leave and marry someone more prosperous. We all know she has the attractiveness for it. Yet here you are, criticizing her despite her best efforts every day. I instructed you to cease sending me money 2 months ago. I genuinely don't require that much. When you were sending the funds, I assumed you were capable of it. I had no idea you both were facing difficulties, and now you're exacerbating the situation for your wife instead of supporting her. I insisted you apologize for the stress you caused her, rather than berating her without reason. Redirect that energy into working harder for more financial stability." Brian remained silent for a while. It was the first time I witnessed him standing, utterly speechless. Then, even more surprising, he began to cry. Melissa and I stayed quiet as we listened to his sobs over the phone. "I'm so sorry, Sandra. I didn't realize how neglectful I've been. I've been too focused on my mother's needs, forgetting about yours. Please forgive me." "I understand, Brian," I replied. "Your mother is correct. If someone else were in my position, they might have left by now. But I'm committed to you through thick and thin. I won't tolerate any more abuse. You must be kinder and more considerate." "I understand, Sandra. I promise my behavior will change. I will never take you for granted again." We ended the call, and Melissa commended me for standing up for myself. Frankly, I was surprised at the way I asserted myself. As the weeks unfolded, presenting us with a series of challenges, the resolution of our confrontation continued to develop. Brian earnestly committed himself to repairing our relationship, demonstrating a genuine desire for change. He took the initiative by actively participating in our conversations, expressing interest in my day, and genuinely engaging with my thoughts and feelings. It felt like a new level of understanding had blossomed between us. We embarked on a journey of rediscovery, investing time in open and honest communication about our needs and desires. Together, we sought guidance in couples therapy, acquiring valuable tools to strengthen our bond and cultivate a healthier dynamic. The therapy sessions provided a secure space for us to address past wounds and collectively heal. During this process, I openly conveyed to Brian the emotional toll his expectations regarding his mother's financial support had taken on me. Brian genuinely listened and expressed remorse for the inadvertent pressure he had placed upon me. Together, we established clearer boundaries and found compromises that balanced our responsibilities to both our families and our well-being. The resolution of our conflict had a positive impact on those around us. Melissa, previously unaware of the extent of our struggles, witnessed the transformation in our relationship with joy and relief. She commended our efforts to rebuild our connection and expressed gratitude for the newfound harmony in our lives. "I'm confident that you two will be all right. You faced a challenging period, but I'm pleased that this situation brought us closer together. Healthy mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationships are not always common, so the journey we took together was beautiful for us. Thanks, Sandra. It truly brought me joy, and I appreciate your assistance throughout our journey. While we faced challenges and moments of doubt, grappling with lingering insecurities and the echoes of past grievances, we navigated through them. At times, shadows threatened to cast over our progress, but through open communication and a mutual commitment to growth, we confronted these challenges head-on. Our dedication ensured that these obstacles didn't overshadow our newfound happiness. Over time, the resolution brought closure and healing to wounds caused by past conflicts. The scars slowly faded, replaced by a profound understanding and appreciation for each other. We learned from our mistakes, pledging never to take each other for granted again. This experience underscored the significance of standing up for oneself, demanding the respect and love deserving of a relationship. It also highlighted the power of forgiveness and the potential for growth within even the most fractured connections. Our resolution wasn't merely about revenge or proving a point. It centered on rekindling the love that initially brought us together. It became a testament to the resilience of love and the transformative power of self-reflection and personal growth. As we moved forward together, a renewed sense of hope and a commitment to nurturing our marriage accompanied us, cherishing the lessons learned along the way. Reflecting on it now, I realized that my plan succeeded. I effectively communicated with Brian, making him see the error of his ways. From that day forward, he prioritized our marriage, and we found ourselves happier than ever before. In hindsight, my actions weren't about hurting Brian, but making him understand the impact of his actions on me and our marriage. Ultimately, it all worked out for the better.